And here's the afternoon update for the entire Atlantic Basin. And you can see I finally updated my evacuation map. Multiple mandatory evacuations, that's in red across the whole entire coast. For some reason, Indian River County is under voluntary instead of mandatory, but that's beside the point. Some places around Lake Okeechobee and some low-lying areas in the swamps of Florida as well, and also up here in Nassau County in northern Florida. Now, let's do everybody else real quick, and then we'll get to this. We have 2 low chances of formation. We have a high chance in an area that we're watching. This is Invest 91L. It'll likely become a depression or a storm in the next few days. Now, let's get to the watches and warnings, because we do have some significant changes. Dorian, of course, Category 5, 220 mile-an-hour gust, 185 mile-an-hour winds, pressure 910 over the Bahamas right now. Tropical storm watches in effect for Lake Okeechobee and down here to the south. I cut off a bit of that, but it's irrelevant. Storm surge watch in Palm Beach County. That's a hurricane watch, Palm Beach County. Tropical storm watch, Palm Beach County. And then we get to the good stuff, which would be storm surges. So we have a storm surge warning here in the middle of Palm Beach County all the way up to the Space Coast. And then again, a hurricane warning from the top of Palm Beach County all the way up to the Space Coast. Not early enough yet to issue warnings yet here for Volusia County, but a hurricane watch and a storm surge watch are both in effect for those areas. So lots of new watches and warnings to take a look at. Haven't updated the university map because it's the middle of the weekend. Nobody cares. Let's look at the latest forecast positions. I have Category 5 Hurricane Dorian in the next 24 hours. In Category 4, Category 5, maybe a high-end Cat 4 as it nears the Space Coast and potentially makes landfall. I want to emphasize this very clearly. We could have a landfall anywhere from north of West Palm Beach all the way to the Palm Coast, including Cape Canaveral area. Significant impacts are expected if that were to occur, which is a very possible scenario. The storm has tracked a bit south of where we were predicting. Everybody was predicting a bit further north. Instead, it hit a bit further south, which has been associated with a further westward track. So please stay tuned for more information on that. The storm surge here from the National Hurricane Center, this is my adjusted values here. I just visualized the stuff they told us. 2 to 4 inches, or 2 to 4 feet rather, down here to the south, and then 4 to 7 for everywhere else along the coast. And that's now subject to rise, especially if we do have a landfalling tropical cyclone. Rainfall, definitely a big concern, and you can see these have really been jacked up since the previous fight. I also added a new category. So 10 inches here in red, 6 to 10 in orange, and 3 to 6 in the yellow. It won't let me click the orange to save my life, but that's beside the point. You guys get the main deal going on there. Worst case wind scenario, not a huge change, but I did change how that yellow area was set up, how that red area has now been expanded, especially farther north, and then the green tropical storm force area also expanded. National, that's not the European models you can see have shifted significantly onshore, at least here in North Carolina, and really along the whole coast. Big change has occurred. We'll go to see if we can get an update here now on the American ensemble. No change. You can see the Hurricane Center cone does bring Dorian relatively close to the coast, hence the hurricane warning being issued. And you can see, of course, the heavy rain affecting the Bahamas, and then the heavy rain expected here for the rest of the United States. As mentioned earlier, the models have been trending closer to shore, especially here by the Outer Banks, but not to neglect the area down here by the Space Coast. And remember, the Space Coast storm would get like Category 5 conditions versus up here Category 2, maybe Category 3 conditions. So that's a big difference. But you can see now the models have been adjusted upward. Some of them expecting a record-breaking storm. The highest recorded on record is 165. So we have a couple models that are literally off the charts. But of course, Dorian has already broken many records with it where it is and how it's impacted everybody. But anyways, my forecast says generally trending downward with time. Beautiful looking tropical storm or hurricane, tropical cyclone is what I meant to say. But you can see how it tracked across there over Abaco Island. This is over the period of like 2 hours. They were in the eye for over 2 hours is kind of the point. So super slow moving system. Latest recon, we should have one in the storm right now. It took off from Port Canaveral, but we don't have any data on it at this time. You can see wind gusts to over 220 miles an hour, storm surge 18 to 23 feet, 185, 910. Absolutely insane conditions here for Dorian. And last time I checked, they had not updated this. No, they have not updated this for Advisory 34 yet. So I'll get you guys more information as I have it. I'll have the next update out around midnight Eastern time tonight. Sorry for the delay on this update coming up. Just had a lot of changes with the evacuation map since the last time I updated it.